do you make sure that there are no threats of overexpanding? How do you ensure that you have a healthy cash flow? So how do you oversee that, especially if because there are tendencies you might bite more than you can chew. So
True.
how do you make sure there's focus for each brand and you don't fall off the wagon for certain
Yeah, it's very risky.
brands?
Well, first of all, you need numbers. You need to keep track of what's going on in your business every day. So we look at
finance side, right?
I'm sorry?
Finance.
Yeah,
Someone
we
has
have
to
this guy who's been
keep
with
a
us
close
for,
eye.
Paul Mayo has been with us for 25 years. He's our CFO, and he keeps track of everything. So we keep track of our sales, we keep track of the cash flow, and we check on everything, the profitability of each brand. And without numbers, you cannot manage. I always say you cannot manage what you cannot measure.
Yeah.
So I think first you have to have the numbers, you have to keep track, look at your trends and how things are going. And those that are really eating you up, the businesses, and we've
Have
done
to
this.
let go.
Yeah, we've done this many times. People think that we don't make mistakes. We make mistakes, and we'll continue to make mistakes in the future. But if you made a mistake, do not dwell on the mistake. Don't stay there.
Move forward.
Don't let your ego get the better of you. Close it down and cut the leak. And this has happened to us several times.
Stop the bleeding. Right?
Stop the bleeding, because what for? I mean, there's this such ego thing. You just have to continue with it because
Even if it's really losing money.
going to be embarrassed because you close a business down. No. I always say, I'm happy to close a business just like I'm happy to open one if it cuts the leak, which I think is very important.
Yeah.
So that's basically, and also we make sure before we do anything that our resources are ready and things are in proper place. But of course, there's no guarantee that you're always right. But I think you've been at it a little while, the sense of where it is. Like when Charlie brought up the point in opening in Compostela, I know it's a bit far, and the location and the situation, and we negotiated with the owner on the lot and the design and everything. So we just said, okay, Charlie, go ahead. And right now it's turning like a good decision. So when he said, Dad, we'll go back to the mall, we opened this Mr. Sizzlers. It's a new brand, and this is the concept, and this is what we're getting, and this would be how much it would take. And we looked at it, I saw the location, I said, Charles, go ahead. So, I mean, those are the things that are tricky, but I don't know whether it is part of having a little bit of a business sense and the discussion. So, you know the drill, right?
Yes. Yeah.
What to do and what brand to take.
Yeah. And
It doesn't mean that we're always right. Discerning is part of it. And the most important thing is when you're there, you focus. Do everything that you can. And you cannot wait until things are perfect before you start, right? It's go ahead and just make adjustments along the way.
Yeah, I think
Get customer
important
feedback.
Thing, of course, cash flow.
Yeah, the cash flow is so important.
Some expect profit right away. That's not entirely the case right away.
Although we're not that big, so we expect that we don't get drained so much. So you've got to be right. Otherwise, it's quite difficult. So you know how these things go.
Yeah. Any examples of businesses you had to let go or mistakes you made?
Oh, many.
Realizations?
Yeah, one mistake was we went into the shawarma business. I wrote about this in my column.
I saw that.
Because we had Thirsty, and there was this shawarma
Stall?
stall. I think it was owned by Bose founder Steve Benitez, and it was really just had as many people as
long
Thirsty.
line
So
for
said,
those
why
shawarma
don't we
stations."
open our own shawarma business? And we did. I forgot the name, but I think it was a very good brand, and we opened 5 restaurants, stalls. Pretty good start, a lot of people, and I was worried because our cash flow didn't really improve. Our bank balance did not go up, so we made a mistake. We made a mistake because we did not consider the fact that the beef shrinks by 30 to 40% what you sell. So our costings were wrong. And we just couldn't increase the prices anymore, and we had to close down. So that's one. And another example, which I wrote again in my column, was I went into the giant tire repair business. A friend of mine had this technology to repair these.
This was years ago?
No, maybe about 15 years ago.
Okay.
These huge tires that they use in the mining and the logging industry. and when they're still new, they get punctured because of the stones. And he developed this technology of patching, and we put up a business. It was called the Bigfoot Tire Company. And then we opened it up, and I was very excited. We provided the capital, and he did the management and the technology. Later on, when we took on a lot of tires and we repaired them, eventually we ran out of tires to repair, and we had to close the business down. And collection was also a problem then. So I can cite many more stores that we opened.
Worthwhile because of the learnings.
The learnings, but
along the
Mike,
way.
you'll never know what clicks. I mean, what will click.
Yeah. You can't
cannot
really foresee everything.
You know, there's no way. You might say, okay, you're very optimistic that this will. We've opened several House of Lechon branches. Eventually we had about 4.
You had to cut some
We
down
just had to close
to
all
make
of them.
sure you're more efficient.
You're not more efficient, but the locations were not right. And also the market, we made a mistake in the market. So, and we'll continue to do so. But I think as long as you have a few successes that are I think you can take out those mistakes, but there's no way you can be right every time or all the time.
But how do you stay motivated? Because some can be discouraged, or they become fearful of trying something new because they failed. So what advice would you give?
Yeah, I know. I was
younger
talking to Charlie. I was talking
entrepreneurs?
to Charlie just a few days ago. I said, Charlie, how did we get here? He said, oh, Dad, we just continued to do it. We did not get scared. So I think it's not.
So you need that killer instinct also to
Yeah,
keep
I don't know
thriving.
whether you call it killer instinct, but I think you've got to have
that
that
tenacity.
consistency and the tenacity
Yeah.
and the belief that you can do it. But I think the most important thing in business is really just focus and make sure that you're there, your commitment. And I guess the Lord has something to do with it, because I always believe that a business is given by the Lord. So I pray, Lord, if this is for us, give it to us. If not, then make it hard and show us that it's not for us. So that, to me, that's a very simple prayer. And this has happened many, many times. And when I feel that it's giving us a lot of stumbling blocks, the difficulties and the sort of bugat ba. So maybe it's not for us. And when we don't get it, I always say, okay, thank you, Lord, it's not for us. Then we go somewhere else. And that had been the philosophy that I always carry in my life. If it's for us, we'll get it. If it's not, then that's okay.
So you
That's
usually seek guidance from the Lord on your ventures to make
Yes.
sure that, this is the right decision. This might not be too good. So
And
you
as I
assess.
said, if the road is smooth and things just fall into place, most likely it's for you.
Okay.
Most likely. It doesn't mean that it's going to happen, but most likely. And that's been my philosophy. So I don't get upset. I don't get disappointed. I don't get hurt if something doesn't push through. Because I always say,
There's a reason.
there's a
purpose
reason.
for
There's a
everything.
reason, and it's not for us. And this has happened when all the things, not all, but most of the things we've done, Mike, it's just, things just fall into place. And you say, labad sa o or something like that. To tell you the truth, it's not. We enjoy what we're doing and we love what we do. And I think the most important focus is to create more satisfied customers.
Yeah, I still sense your passion, so very impressive. But I think about passion, it wouldn't feel like work because you're enjoying
No,
what you're doing.
I don't work.
Yeah,
No, I don't work.
because work seems like such an arduous thing. Like, you get up or you're forced to do something. But if you enjoy it,
we love
it
the
comes
challenge.
natural.
Yeah, we love the challenge though. So it's more like a challenge. It's not a problem. So I always say, okay, so where's our challenge here?
Okay. Anyway, on a deeper, more personal note, what are your views on the world? What's your worldview, spiritual views, religious views? Or what do you think is the purpose of humanity, why we're here, where we're going?
Wow.
What are we here for?
I think we're here to serve, to develop people along the way. And,
Relationships.
yeah, and bring people up.
friendships.
So I'm a very developmental person. So I always think that people have potentials, and I started with my children. And if they have reached a certain point in their lives right now where they are, it's because I built on their positive traits. As I said, you cannot build on weaknesses. You need to build on strengths, and that's what I've been doing. And I'm sure and I can see that they're doing it with their children too. And my view is that our time in this world is limited. So
Yeah.
let's make the best use of it. Enjoy as you can.
Enjoy the journey. Right?
Enjoy the journey, but my biggest motivation is really self-development, believe it or not. So
Growth. And
growth in my personal,
fulfillment.
and I believe that your business cannot grow unless you grow yourself. So I read a lot. I watch podcasts. I watch yours too. I look at YouTube, and I talk to people.
Yeah.
And whenever I'm with somebody who is more successful than we are, I always pick their brains.
Actually, there's
Learn
always
from-
something to learn from anyone.
So it's
even-
always like I consider myself a lifelong learner.
Yeah.
So it's always to learn. I'm so excited to read. I'm so excited to talk to people.
Yeah.
And I think that motivates me a lot.
Yeah, I think you
All the
learn
time.
something from anyone you talk to. Like you hear perspectives even with farmers, security guards, or vendors. There's
All.
insights you get.
Yeah, and I think if you have that attitude, you'll never grow old. I mean,
Yeah.
that's my philosophy.
Okay.
I don't know if that answers your question, but we'll never know where we'll.
Yeah.
Where we will
It's an
go.
uncertain life. Things
It is.
can
It is an
happen,
uncertain, but
accidents happen. So
let's just
make the
let's
most
just
of
be
it.
ready, and no regrets.
Yeah, that's
I think that's so important. No regrets.
okay. Anyway, maybe we can walk through your journey. You mentioned you went into insurance, oil, then you ventured into food, and on the school also. We didn't really cover much on the school. What made you decide to start the school, Playhouse, Bright? What led to that?
Was really started. The concept was really started by the mother of my children, Alan, and myself. So we sort of
This
converted
came
our
first,
garage.
right? Before Thirsty.
Yeah, this came
So
first
the
before
school
30. The
first.
school is now what 30,
Okay.
30 years old. So this came first.
All the way till high school.
Right, yes. We have, 700 students in that school right now. And we just converted our garage into a school. And Michael, my son, was part of it, of that class. It started with 5 kids. We rented his house in Paradise Village. And we started from there. And it just grew and grew. So that's basically what it is. But the mindset is always to grow, to expand. You know, I believe that, I always say an entrepreneur is somebody who sees a business opportunity, capitalizes on it, and builds an organization to pursue it. So if a person has been in business for a long, long time and he hasn't grown, he's not an entrepreneur. He's a businessman, but I think entrepreneurs like you and maybe me and us, we're always think of growth, always to expand.
Always moving forward.
Always moving
going
forward,
up, right?
always going up, hopefully. Not all the time.
Down, but you go up.
You go up. But entrepreneurs build businesses, build organizations. And I think that's the basic difference, the main difference between a businessman and an entrepreneur. And that's growth-minded.
So you're doing your part also, of course, for the economy, for jobs, for the well-being of others.
Yeah.
So
That's it. And when your time comes to be out of this world, and maybe you have contributed a little something to the world before you left.
okay.
So I don't know if that's deep enough, but that's what I can say. So I just take things lightly. Don't take myself too seriously, but take other things seriously.
Okay. What else do you do in your spare time? Any movies or series you've been watching lately?
Oh yeah,
Netflix?
no, but I've set up my home in such a way that it's like an entertainment hub. So
Okay.
I've got everything there, Netflix. But I'm trying to just limit my watching television and movies. So I want to spend more time now in reading, writing a column, and developing certain podcasts that I can share to more people. So I'm trying to manage my time in such a way that it gets to be more productive. But sometimes I reward myself and said, okay, watch a nice movie tonight.
What about hobbies, or you do biking, or
No,
I
not-
know you collect cars. You have a car collection. In fact, you've bought several cars from us. I think
I've always loved cars, but now
you're a very valued customer, of
Thank
course,
you.
with our company.
Thank you. Will always be, but
Yeah.
I'm just trying to limit myself now to this newer cars. I'm tired of all those repair and maintenance situations.
less
So I said,
headache also.
I've passed through that, but my children are different. So they've got a different mindset. They're younger, so they can do that. But I said no more. Then I'm done.
Okay. Any parting message or advice you'd want to give to our viewers or whoever might be watching this, fellow Filipinos, or
Yeah, well, first of all, Mike, it's never too late to start a business. Like I started at age 50, and a lot of people would have probably called me crazy or stupid to start at age 50 because you have very little time to adjust. But I think in a way, it sort of helped me because I was in a rush. And secondly, I think I've learned enough from the outside world that I am able to apply it in the real world, in our own businesses. So my encouragement is don't wait too long to start a business. Start, but it's never too late to start. And when you're there, take it seriously. But don't take yourself seriously. Take your business, take your customers, take the people that work with you seriously, because it's a serious business to be in business. So I hope that helps.
okay. So yeah, I think we covered a lot of ground today. So thank you very much, Sir Bunny, Tito Bunny, for all the wonderful insights on family, business, life. So we covered pretty much almost everything, perhaps. So,
Okay, pretty good interviewer, Mike.
So yes.
Congrats. Good luck on your
I
podcast, okay?
Valued the time we shared.
Thank you. Same here.
Thank you.
Bye, and God bless.
Thank you.